We have another major development coming out of Abuja, and this one is serious on every level. The United States has moved from talking, from warning, from sending letters to actually sending high-ranking lawmakers into Nigeria to see things for themselves. And the reason for this mission is simple: the rising conversation around what many Americans are now calling the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. This is not a small statement. This is not a casual visit. This is a step that tells the world that Washington is no longer depending on reports alone. They want evidence with their own eyes. They want answers directly from Nigerian officials. They want to know why villages are being attacked, why Christian communities are being wiped out, why school children are being abducted, and why thousands of innocent people are dying every year. And today, the U.S. delegation finally landed in Abuja for a full fact-finding mission. This is not an ordinary team. This is not tourism. These are lawmakers with power. Lawmakers who sit on committees that control U.S. military aid, foreign relations, sanctions, and diplomatic pressure. People like Representative Mario Diaz-Balart, Representative Norma Torres, Representative Scott Franklin, Representative Juan Chiscomani, and the one Nigerians have been hearing a lot about recently, Representative Riley Moore. These are not low-level visitors. These are decision makers. Riley Moore himself wrote something that caught the attention of many Nigerians. He said, "I came to Nigeria in the name of the Lord and on behalf of the American people." That kind of statement is not normal diplomatic language. That kind of statement tells you that he sees this as a moral and spiritual mission, not just a political assignment. He believes something very wrong is happening here, and he believes America has a responsibility to intervene. And then Nigeria's National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, confirms that he hosted them in Abuja today. According to his update, the meeting was focused on counterterrorism, regional stability, and the rising attacks on Christian communities. He also said the delegation came after earlier engagements they already had in Washington, meaning this is not the first conversation. This is a follow-up to something big. Now let's look at the timing. Why is the U.S. suddenly showing this level of interest in Nigeria's security situation? Why is this happening now? Because the insecurity in Nigeria has reached the level the world can no longer ignore. School abductions, church massacres, village burnings, farmers killed on their own land, pastors kidnapped, entire communities pushed out of their homes. Reports from Amnesty, Open Doors, and other organizations have been painting a dark picture for years. And in the last few months, U.S. lawmakers have been openly saying something frightening, that Nigeria is possibly the most dangerous country in the world to be a Christian. Some even say more Christians are killed in Nigeria every year than in every other country combined. If that is not alarming, I don't know what is. The U.S. House Appropriations Committee has also been raising these issues aggressively. They said they want a full investigation, and they want to see whether U.S. military aid is being used properly. They want to know whether Nigeria is doing enough to protect its citizens, and they want to see if extremist groups are gaining more ground. Today's visit proves that the pressure is increasing. Let's talk about what this means politically. This visit is bipartisan. Republicans and Democrats together, that means both sides of the U.S. political system agree that something serious is happening in Nigeria. This is not about elections in America. This is not about party rivalry. This is a united concern. Secondly, America does not send lawmakers to a country unless they are preparing for a major report. And that report will influence foreign aid, military support, sanctions, visa restrictions, diplomatic policies, intelligence sharing. This is exactly how large international pressure begins. Now let us look at the Nigerian angle. The government has consistently rejected the word genocide. They say what is happening is terrorism, banditry, ethnic clashes, and criminal activities. They say Muslims and Christians are both victims. They say the violence is not targeted at one group. But here is the problem. When the killings begin to follow a particular pattern, When communities that share the same belief are attacked repeatedly, when churches are burned, pastors killed, and school children abducted, when perpetrators are rarely arrested or prosecuted, when the killings keep increasing, the international community begins to suspect that something deeper is going on. And that is why America has come in person. When you look at this visit, one thing becomes clear. The United States is no longer treating the situation in Nigeria as ordinary insecurity. The fact that members of Congress traveled all the way to Nigeria themselves shows that Washington wants first-hand information, not second-hand reports. Nothing in this visit suggests any political outcome in America. The focus here is on Nigeria, on the killings, and on whether the Nigerian government is truly doing enough to protect Christians and vulnerable communities. For months, U.S. lawmakers have been raising questions, demanding answers, and asking why the violence keeps increasing. Now they have decided to come and see things directly. It tells you the concern is serious. It tells you the pressure is rising. And it tells you that the world is watching Nigeria more closely than ever before. And now, lawmakers are collecting evidence to decide the next step. So, what should Nigerians expect? Expect a full U.S. congressional report in the coming weeks. Expect stronger language from Washington. Expect the U.S. to consider placing conditions on any future military support. Expect conversations about visa restrictions for Nigerian officials if things do not improve. Expect international pressure to increase as the world pays closer attention. And the biggest one, expect the genocide question to return to the center of international debate. Remember, once America calls something genocide, the entire world begins to react. My people, no matter how we look at this, Nigeria is entering a new phase. The U.S. has stepped into the matter officially. The question now is simple. What will Nigeria do? Will the government show evidence that things are improving? Will they intensify operations in the affected areas? Will they address the international community with transparency? Or will the situation continue to escalate? These next few months will reveal everything. As always, we will keep watching, we will keep reporting, and we will keep breaking it down clearly for everyone to understand.